focus. We want to explore our continuing um, insights into the developments that are going on around us. So, first, heartfelt thank you for all those individuals who took the time out yesterday to go to London, in particular in the UK, and demonstrate their concerns in a wonderfully energetic way, and demonstrating that there are a huge number of people in their millions who now see through the compulsion, the mandatory oppression, and are saying no. So, heartfelt thanks to all those individuals who took the opportunity and stand for their sovereignty, stand for their truth, stand for their truth. Because ultimately, that's all we're going to be judged on, our own judgment, right? So, those people who understand the nature of death will realize, understand that during the process of this transition from life into post life, that there is this whole recollection of life. And within that, there is a level of self evaluation, let's call it that. Self evaluation. This self evaluation will determine the energetic field, which then becomes the constituents of your transition into another mentation of life. We call it karma or we call it karam, but basically, karam is this. Um, the karam is the fruits to the seeds we sow. And the seeds that we sow will depend on effectively the essence of what it means to be human. Do we stand for sovereignty? Do we stand for creativity? Do we stand for compassion? Do we stand for self care, self compassion? Or do we live in emotions such as fear, such as anger, such as jealousy, such as craving, all of that? Emotions that draw us in, that contract us, or emotions that allow us to expand. And the nature of existence is that it is always expanding. So, this is what it means to align yourself with this ever changing, constantly shifting reality, and align yourself towards that expansion, flourishing, and not the contracting emotions. So, as anticipated months and months ago, that by December, by Christmas, because it has a communal, emotional content to it, that expect lockdowns, expect the fear mongering, in fact, and here we are once again anticipating the probability and the possibility of an event taking place. And this has obviously is concerning many people, and again another Christmas where many individuals were unable to interact with one another, another moment in which humanity can be brought together, right? May it be a commercial event, may it be a spiritual event, whatever, it makes no difference. But it's humanity being brought together. And yet again, you will notice that it's been broken. It's been um, dismantled simply by propagating hysteria behind a name which neuralist, if you were any understanding of how our minds can be manipulated with language, will realize that these words are invented in order to create a whole set of attributes to the world. So the dreaded C word, that was invented, created, and then all the other attributes were added to it to make it the fear thing that it is. And the same is true for this new one. Once again, a name that has kind of ancient linguistic connections, is sounds quite ominous. Notice the word ominous. That should be the clue. Omnipotent, omnipresent, everywhere, very powerful, and and obviously something that is deadly. Right? So these words are already, or these meanings are already embedded in that word, omni whatever. Yeah. And so omni meaning ever present, here, and then whether it's potent, present, or any other word that goes with the prefix omni. These words then color that word, that single label, and then as it's been projected and as it is being again propagated, it creates an image. It creates an image within our minds. Now, to counter that image, so the fear has been created now by using that particular word. However, we will use now a word that everyone knows, a word that has positive affirmations, a word that gives you self empowerment. And this word is what? This word is something that boosts you, something that allows you to re-strengthen yourself. So remember this logic, linguistic programming that's taking place with us. So with the omni, it is fear orientated, it is unknown, hence the word is unknown. It's a new word. They have to create a new word linguistically, has to create a new word in order to give all the labels to it. And on the other side, use a word. Even the word, replacing the word gene therapy with the word nation. You know what I mean? There are certain words I can't even say because they are censored. So by replacing one word with, or replacing one process with a existing word which everyone is familiar with, there is a level of acceptance. So this programming is taking place right before your eyes. And those who are subject to this programming, you will see they will affect. That fear will immediately take them the to have themselves boosted. And only time, no, actually already we are having many mushrooming pieces of information that are demonstrating cardiac arrest, that are demonstrating strokes in children, demonstrating cardiac arrests in children, and a series of other things, from tremors right down to rashes in children. And this information is starting to come through. This more, as more and more of this information comes through, as more and more of this information becomes available, we will find very soon that this sweeping mindset that is now starting to take hold, as anticipated months ago, that by as we reach December and into January, February, and March, the early part of the spring, that this process of almost like a tsunami, and a slow tsunami that is going through the population, ripping through their little normie minds, making it pop, making them question what is going on. And this questioning is what adds the energy to the shift that we are now absolutely embedded in. Now, the situation is that it is now a fairly volatile and a dangerous situation. And why is it dangerous? Because the hand that dealt the card has been shown. And because it has been shown, it's do or die for that particular hand. You know what I mean? I know what I mean. So, in these situations, when a rat is trapped in a corner, it will bite, it will scratch, it will do whatever it can. So, be cautious. Don't get dragged into all the dramas that may just suddenly start popping. And normally they will have an emotional content, shootings and bombings and carnage of some sort, because it invokes emotion, and that emotion ties us in, right? So now we begin to recognize, and as soon as you recognize the process, we become separated and dissociated from it, begins to take shape. And the entanglement is only there because we choose to trust the sources of information that we have been conditioned to trust. So, as children, we have been brought up to trust our authority givers, our authority figures, be carers, parents, etc., etc. And that trust has simply been transferred now to those that are positioned in a space in which they have authority, and you are the one that will follow that authority. Yeah. You're the child. You yourself have enabled individuals to be your parental guides, or in this case, your parental oppressors. And these, whether they are politicians, whether they are elderly spiritual leaders, whether they are priests or scientists, or those who wear the coat and call themselves a scientist, but never speak about how to create your own immunity, how to strengthen your immunity. What kind of scientists are they? What kind of scientists can you say they are? So you begin to realize that in these shifting paradigm that we are in, that there is a significant amount of manipulation going on, which does not allow the individual time to discern what's going on. So as a result, we get entangled in the dramas, and it's this self-appointed authoritarians that are now exercising a control, which certainly half of the population, from what we can hear and read, are certainly starting to question that. Half of the population, 23.5 million people who have not been questioning. That goes to demonstrate how much concern there is of this. And it's not about whether you take part in the experiment or not. It's neither that or the other. It's simply about disassociating yourself from the whole narrative. Disassociating. And that disassociation, disengagement from that narrative allows you to remove your authority from authority becoming your truth to truth becoming your authority. That's the difference. If you choose authority to become your truth, then authority will take you where they need to take you. However, if you allow truth to become your authority or my authority, and what do we mean by truth? We mean by truth critical thinking, not buying into anything that's just said, speaking to the right people, discernment, and knowing in your heart of hearts, which side of the balance one sits in. And that's where the truth is. That truth is beyond mind, that truth is beyond the emotions, that truth is a knowing. And that knowing cannot be challenged. And if you know from your own thinking, your own critical investigations, etc., that a particular procedure proposes more risks than not, and someone is trying to force me to take that, then my innate intuition and innate essence tells me this is something that does not resonate with me, and it is something that I am not interested in. So you turn your back to it. You turn your back to it, and if you turn your back to it, you regain your sovereignty, making your truth your authority and not making authority your truth. So, month of December, as we move on to Christmas and further up, you will notice that all sorts of different activities which would to bring people together have now been dismantled through language, just through language, yeah, but dismantled or are being dismantled. And the question you need to ask is, why is this so dangerous? And yes, the fear factor plays a role. And yes, there is a flu-like man-made variant out there that affects your throat and your stomach and back into your throat. And yes, it is been known that it doesn't seem to be that dangerous. However, through basic hygiene, through taking regular kind of measures, one is still able to meet, perhaps in a park or perhaps somewhere. However, all of these meeting places have now started to dismantle and fragment. Um, People coming together provide an opportunity to discuss, an opportunity to discern, an opportunity where different points of views can come together. But most importantly, a collective consciousness that can create a change. So it is important to realize the impact of not getting together will have as we move on into the next year. So, as we move towards Christmas, we will find that this pressure becomes more and more intense to separate fear, 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 separate fear, fear, fear. And that will probably continue way past into January, February, well, probably January, before we are given yet another opportunity to face yet another threat before the steam runs out. So, it is hard to many people the pressures that they are being placed under, but have trust that all that we witness will move. All that we are going through is a transition. And this transition is such a phenomenally auspicious time that we could have, even if we had the opportunity, we would never have recognized the value of living through these times, because humanity is being separated from the parasites and the parasite that has captured it for so long. And as more and more of this information begins to come through, we began back in March 2020 with this process is going to redefine what it means to be human. And we are going through that process of what it means to be human, the resilience, the sovereignty, standing up, yeah, making sure, uh, making sure that um, we 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 look after ourselves, making sure that we look after others. The expression of compassion. How else will we know compassion unless we have those that we can exercise compassion for and with? How else will we know our sovereignty unless we are pressed, unless we are oppressed, unless we are tyrannized, to know what we will put up with and what we will not put up with? How else will we know that? These processes that we are going through are, in fact, blessings. They are blessings because they are the uh, um, uh, conditions which will create what is emerging to be the human fit for humanity as we move on. So, it only took one Buddha to create this whole worldview called Buddhism. It only took one Nanak, one Christ. It only took one Moses. It only took one Haile Selassie. It only took one individual, Kabir, Lao Tzu, Confucius, to create a whole worldview. It only takes one match to burn the forest. So every time we meditate, Every time we become present, we add a whole um, energetic field into our collective ether called Akash, which then replicates, moves forward as everything is interconnected. So, in doing that, we become that one flame that has a capacity to bring more in the darkness of ignorance and oppression that we're all in. So, we will begin our meditation and share that silence with one another and share that silence with existence itself and allow ourselves to synchronize our very essence with the essence of existence. So, as usual, back is straight and upright, shoulders are pushed back, eyes are closed, mouth is closed. And we'll set a little intention. So, let's set the intention for ourselves. And the simple intention today will be to know your essential self. To know your essential self. When everything else falls apart, what remains? What remains? Okay? And we will go through a meditation in which we will allow every element to fade away. So, our intention is to know our essential self. We bring our focus to our posture, drawing a slow, deep breath in, bringing your awareness to yourself, making sure that you're comfortable. Yeah? No point in trying to be a martyr. If you don't feel comfortable, better to change your posture. And again, just notice the posture, scan your body from the top of your head, moving down. And the purpose of this scan is simply to look at anything in the body that's dominant at the moment. Could be pain, could be an ache, could be an itch, could be a tightness, could be the feeling of warmth or cold. So just see if you scan your body up and down, where in your body you can locate anything that's dominant. Okay. On your next breath in, bring your focus now to the seat you're on. And as you begin to notice what's holding you, what you're sitting upon, allow your body to soften a little bit. Your thighs may want to soften a bit, and the whole body. So your skeleton remains upright, but the flesh begins to soften a little bit. The fact that you are held, you're supported. And as you begin to notice your seat, the ground beneath you, you begin to realize this is the only place that can support you. In other words, you can't be anywhere else. So recognize that. You're taking before you is only so, it's only as a result of the air that's in front of you. And the air that as you breathe out, you can only breathe out in the air that's in front of you. And if you feel warm or cold, the environment that surrounds you, the space that holds you, is the only space that can hold you. In other words, you are located in the here and in the now. So begin to recognize that. Notice the sensations where your body makes contact with what you're sitting on. As you breathe in, bring your focus up so you become aware of your hips. As you breathe out, you take your focus down your thighs towards your knees. Next breath out, you bring your focus down towards your ankles. Notice your feet. And then notice the soles of your feet. Notice that the back is straight and upright. So you just scan it from the lower back, slowly moving your awareness up, up, all the way from the middle back to your shoulder blades, and then resting upon your shoulders. Notice the back of the neck. And on your next breath out, bring this focus down your shoulders towards your elbows, moving to your wrists, moving to the palms of your hands, and the fingers on your hands. Gently bring your focus towards your eyes. Notice the darkness. The fact that you are aware of this darkness. See if you can recognize that. Awareness. You can become aware of the head, and you can even bring this awareness right to the back of your head. On your next breath out, allow your eyes to soften. Your mouth. Notice your tongue. Allow it to soften. Notice the sensations within your mouth. And as you breathe out, allow your face to relax and soften. On your next breath in, once again, bring your focus to yourself. Next breath in, bring your focus to your inner space. And by that we mean our thoughts. So allow your awareness to notice the kind of thoughts that may be there or have been dominating you today. How does your mental space feel? Does it feel tired? Does it feel fatigued? Does it feel fresh? Bring your focus towards your chest. Move your awareness a bit deeper towards inner chest. So right in the middle of your chest. See if you can hold your and as you hold your focus there, in this moment right now, do you feel settled? Do you feel unsettled? Comfortable? Uncomfortable? And on your next breath out, opening your awareness to all the sounds around you. Listening, allowing the sounds to come to you. So you don't look for them, you don't judge them, no commentary, simply listening. Almost as though you're listening with your whole body. Gently bring your focus just beneath your nose. Is to hold your awareness with the purpose of watching your breath. In breath that comes in and an out breath that goes. And all you need to do at this stage is simply watch this. Out breath in particular, following it till the end. Notice where it finishes naturally. And as you follow your out breath to the end, your body to soften a little bit more. To enter this moment. Stay with your breath, allowing each out breath to move you deeper and deeper into this present moment. You will notice there's a tiny little gap at the end of your out breath before the in breath begins. See if you can notice that. With your breath, follow the breath all the way out, right to that gap before the in breath begins. Notice how you're breathing now. Notice how your breath feels. Does it feel fast? Does it feel slow? Long? Does it feel short? Does your breath feel soft or does it feel hard? Stay with your breath. Does your breath feel cool or does it feel warm? And then bringing your focus to the sound of your breath. Listening or trying to listen to the in breath as it comes in. Try and listen to the out breath as it goes out. The sounds, looking for them, listening with your heart, and more intently the presence. Experience as best as you can. Notice the peace, Notice the stillness. Notice the silence. Notice the absence of hate. This silence, this stillness, this peace is your very essence. Follow the bell one more time into the silence. When you're ready, gently bringing your focus just beneath your nose and sitting with your breath. Next breath out. Expand to make sure you become aware of your body as best as you can. Notice how the body feels now. Notice the stillness. You are still sitting in the same place you began. You can feel the sensations in your body where your body makes contact with your chair or your seat. Sense your thighs. From your knees, you can move your awareness towards your feet. And you can notice the soles of your feet. Perhaps even move your toes ever so slightly. Notice that your back is straight and upright. Your shoulders, arms, hands are relaxed and comfortable. Your eyes are still closed and relaxed, as is your mouth. And your face is relaxed, coming back to your breath. As the breath comes in, you can sense your body. As the breath goes out, you can sense your body. Stay with your breath, sensing your body as the breath comes in, sensing your body as the breath goes out. When you hear the next bell, use to draw a few slow, deep breaths in, and when you're ready, opening your eyes. Take your time.